Shri Shri Anandamayi Ma ki Jai. This morning, a very young French lady arrived here from Kabul. She had gone there for some professional work and was able to break journey in India for 10 days only on her way to Paris. When seeing a film of Mataji and her surroundings, which Mr. Arnaud Desjardins is showing in France, she had been so profoundly stirred that she seized this rare opportunity to come and see Mataji. She left Kabul only yesterday, arrived in Delhi in the evening and took the night train to Dehradun. After an hour of Mataji's darshan in a fairly large crowd, having to listen to questions and answers in Hindi and Bengali, of which she could not understand a single word, I asked her what was her impression of Mataji. My expectations were very great, was her reply, but I have found much more than I expected. To the question whether she did not want to see anything of India, she answered without hesitation, "No, I want to remain with Mataji." A French lady had a talk with Mataji. Amongst other things, she asked, "How does the love of God come, Mataji? Does it not happen that you make friends with utter strangers and come to love them? To love God, who is your own self, is natural. If you feel drawn to a particular form of God, such as Christ or Krishna, contemplate that form of His. Repeat His name constantly. Think of Him. Read about His greatness and His glory. Let your mind ever be occupied with the thought of Him." Question: suppose one does not feel attracted to any particular incarnation of God. How should one proceed? Mataji: sit perfectly still and dive into yourself, trying to find out who you are. To find yourself means to find God, and to find God means to find yourself. The following is a letter with instructions by Mataji to some Sadhikas. At every single moment, try to be aware of Him. For have you not chosen this path to dedicate your lives to Him? Therefore, when speaking, speak of Him. When thinking, think of Him. When listening, listen to His words or to what is said about Him. Further, try each one of you to keep a diary, so as to check your mind from turning outward. This may also make you watchful and help you in your striving. Those who are pilgrims on the path must develop great inner strength, energy, mobility, and swiftness, so that their lives may become beautiful, to fill their new life with a new current. It will not do to sit and ride in a rickety, jolting bullock cart. At all times, the mind must be intensely vigorous, energetic, and alert. Then only can you forge ahead with great speed. Remember that every person has to mold his or her own life. Accept cheerfully whatever he may bestow on you or take away from you. By constant practice, one finally achieves. They all should make up their minds to try and follow the advice of their friend to the minutest detail. At what moment He will grace us with His touch lies with Him. Our duty is to continue to invoke Him without interruption. Enough time has been spent in wandering hither and thither aimlessly, leaving the path in order to enjoy the sights of the world. Now all one's time should, as far as possible, be spent in the attempt to find one's self. Vain and idle talk is of no benefit and only prevents one from advancing towards Him. It is but an obstacle to one's efforts. Ages and ages have been wasted in this way. Now, friend, return to your real home. By lingering on the way, you only prolong the agony of troubles and difficulties that have to be endured on the pilgrimage. Ever remember that one who is eager to advance towards Him and practices His name and His presence progresses, no matter what his condition may be. To say, I do not feel His response and therefore to take pleasure in mundane things can never be for one's good. Always bear this in mind. Shri Shri Anandamayi Ma ki Jai.